It's nighttime, and you're probably lying in bed, scrolling through a stack of old family photos stashed on your phone. There's your baby self, front and center, same nose, same curious eyes, making faces for the camera. Your parents insist that's you. They'll tell stories about your first steps, your first words, your infamous first birthday cake faceplant, like it all happened to a you remember. But be honest for a second, you don't remember any of it. Not even a blur. It's just darkness, total blackout. Nothing about your pudgy hands or that unmistakable baby babble. But you do remember being 10 or awkward in middle school, or that weird thing that happened last Tuesday. Those very first years, though, they just vanish. They're gone. We're talking about almost 1,500 mornings and nights, 2 to 4 years, completely erased from personal history. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Nobody escapes this strange little mystery. Why can't anyone remember being a baby? That single question has the power to turn upside down what we think we know about memory and about ourselves. Memory loss isn't really the story here. The deeper story is identity. Scientists even gave this amnesia a name: childhood amnesia, or sometimes infantile amnesia, and it's one of the most universal human experiences. Every culture, every language, every single person, nobody remembers their infancy. For more than a century, psychologists have tried to nail down exactly why, and only pretty recently, less than a generation ago, have they gotten close to a real answer. This is what keeps people up at night. If you can't recall those early years, were you actually there as the you know now? Were you even conscious? Or was that some kind of proto-version? This isn't just an odd brain quirk. It challenges the most basic assumption you carry, that there's been a single, continuous you since day one. The answer, it turns out, is wildly counterintuitive. It cracks open the illusion of a seamless, unbroken self. Take Patricia Bauer, a psychology professor at Emory University. She's been at this for 3 decades, focusing on the development of childhood memory. In one huge 2007 study, published in Memory, she and research partner Marina Larkina tracked the same children over several years to figure out exactly when childhood amnesia snaps into place. Their approach was clever but pretty straightforward. At age 3, they asked 83 kids detailed questions about things they just did: zoo trips, family birthdays, all the regular milestones. Then, they circled back and interviewed those same kids years later. Here's what they found. At ages 5 to 7, those kids remembered over 60% of the events from when they were 3. At ages 8 to 9, less than 35%. By age 10, memory for those early events dropped to less than 20%. Right around 7, the forgetting took off like a rocket. Bauer's study was a game changer. It proved childhood amnesia doesn't happen overnight. Toddlers do make real memories. But around age 7, some biological switch, starts erasing them. The idea shakes things up. Your own brain is actively deleting your earliest moments. So what's going on inside your head? All roads lead to the hippocampus, that peculiar little brain structure shaped like a seahorse. Seriously. It's mission headquarters for long-term memory. But here's the catch. Babies are born with a hippocampus that's nowhere near finished. Dr. Nora Newcomb at Temple University put it under the scientific microscope and found the hippocampus isn't fully up and running until around age 3 or 4. It's still building connections, still developing, well into age 7. Using MRI scans, researchers mapped how the hippocampus grows from newborn to 10-year-old. At birth, your hippocampus isn't even half the adult size, maybe 40%. The wiring's barely there. By age 3, it's around 80%. At 7, it's almost all there. And the punchline is this: unless the hippocampus is mature and its connections are dense, memories don't make it into the long-term vault. Everything before that vanishes, even though you could feel, move, learn, and react, all without being able to recall it later. So, if you don't remember, were you ever conscious the way you are now? Modern neuroscience dares us to ask that question and face the answer. But memory isn't just about wiring. There's another, surprising factor: language. Robin Fivish, another Emory psychology professor, published research in 2011 showing just how critical language is for remembering your past. She looked at how parents talk with their kids about things that happened. When parents weave rich, colorful narratives. Remember the monkey at the zoo spraying water all over you? Their children are much better at hanging on to those early memories. When parents keep it simple, did you have fun? Kids remember significantly less. Words matter. Language provides the scaffolding for your brain to box up, label, and file away experiences into manageable stories. Without language, especially words for ideas like before, after, or even I, your mind has a hard time knowing what goes where. Little kids live in the now. They don't narrate things to themselves. And human memory is built around storytelling, not isolated facts. Fivish found that kids who learn language early actually hold on to childhood memories a bit longer, so childhood amnesia hits later, closer to age 3.5 than 2. Bottom line, you need words to build a memory of being you. So who exactly were you before that? Rewind a bit. This mystery isn't new. In 1893, Caroline Miles, then a doctoral student at Cornell, officially described childhood amnesia. She was among the first women to study memory scientifically, a radical move for her time. But it was Sigmund Freud who popularized the term infantile amnesia in 1899, linking it, of course, to his favorite themes. Freud guessed we repress early memories because they're too charged, but that wasn't it. He did get one thing right. Nobody remembers being a baby, no matter what. Cultures all over the world just assumed that's the way life worked. Ancient writings, medieval doctors, and Enlightenment philosophers. None questioned why adults couldn't remember being infants. It wasn't until the late 19th century, when scientists began unraveling how memory functions, that the mystery really caught their attention. Even the root of the word infant means unable to speak. The ancients linked language and self-recognition. They just didn't know how deep it went. And maybe this isn't just about science. It's about living in America today. According to a 2022 survey by the APA, over 73 million Americans under 35 have struggled with questions about identity, with imposter syndrome, with who they really are. Part of that, believe it or not, links right back to those blank years early in life. You're taught your identity is this unbroken line, one you, all the way through. But the hard evidence just isn't there. Your earliest memories mostly come from family stories, not your own head, bits and pieces told by someone else. Your parents describe you as shy or bold or full of mischief, but you can't recall feeling those things. So which you is real? Digging deeper, what if forgetting our infancy isn't some cruel bug in the system? What if it's a feature, a necessary reset? Science shows your infant brain ran with twice as many neural connections as your adult brain. Later, your brain pruned what it didn't need, keeping only the strongest links, wiping out huge swaths of the old self in the process. When you look at baby photos and they feel foreign or out of step with who you are, it's not all in your head. Your brain literally upgraded its software, and the old junk got cleaned out. That messy transition from baby to toddler, toddler to kid, that's not just memory loss. It's a constant rebuilding of who you are. So now the question that lurks in the shadows, is the baby in your old photos you, really? Physically, maybe. Your DNA matches, sure. The legal and medical records line up. But memories? Those are gone. You don't even have the same brain. In a very real sense, not the same consciousness. Philosophers have wrestled with this for centuries, the so-called continuity of self problem. Thinkers from Locke to Parfit argued that real identity needs memory. If that's true, then the you know today didn't show up on the scene until your brain and your narrative abilities arrived, around age 3 or 4. Before that, what were you? Half-formed? Proto-human? A version 0? Some neuroscientists push even further. Maybe full consciousness itself requires remembering your life as a story, a past, and a possible future. Babies, for all their cuteness, can't do that. They float in the present, not anchored by a timeline or a sense of self. This isn't some armchair thought exercise. It's a reality that shapes how we view ourselves and others. Identity isn't an unbreakable chain. It's more of a work in progress, built and rebuilt, moment by moment. So let's track it all, from hippocampus development to the rise of language to the deep questions of self-identity. All the evidence points to a conclusion most people don't like to hear. You weren't always you. But honestly, that's the magic. Humans are the only creatures that can look back and actually recognize the jumps, the resets, the discontinuity, and still make sense of it. We can look at baby pictures, and feel both the connection and the distance. That baby is you, yes, but also not you. The person who took their first steps didn't know who you'd become. But you, right now, have a choice. Every memory from age 7 and beyond, you get to keep. Every time you edit or retell your life story, you're shaping who you are. Forgetting your baby years isn't a tragedy. It's a gift, a blank page. It means you're not stuck with whoever you were. You're always becoming. Sometime, somewhere, probably around 3 or 4 years old, you really woke up. You just don't remember the moment. But you've been awake since. From then on, it's your story to write, one day at a time. So maybe look at those old baby photos a little differently now. That's your starting point, not your finished story. And that's a pretty amazing thing.